All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies course, I'm creating a series of video presentations that are based on the Mozilla Developer Network's Learn Web Development series. I'm in the server-side programming, Express Node.js, displaying data, and we are going through the library tutorial. We are in step 5 of 7, and there's 12 subsections in here. So far I've done 1, asynchronous flow control using async, 2, template primer, and 3, the local library base template. Now it's time to start doing some pages. So we're going to start with the home page. As it says, the first page we'll create will be the home page, which is accessible from either the slash or from catalog. So if we do look at that right now, and we just do put in either just slash, not implemented, or if we put in slash catalog, we get the same thing. Well, not catalog, of course that would not be implemented. All right, just not implemented. All right. This will display some static text describing the site along with dynamically calculated counts of different types in the database. We have already created a route for the home page. In order to complete the page, we need to update our controller function to fetch counts of records and create a view that we can render to the page. We created our index page in a previous tutorial. As a reminder, all route functions are defined in our catalog.js, where the callback function parameter is defined in book controller. All right. It says in this controller function, it is this controller function we extend to get information from our models and then render to the template. All right. The index controller function needs to fetch information about how many available book instances, author and genre records we have in the database. And it must then render this data in a template to create an HTML page and return that as an HTTP response. It says, note that we use the count documents method to get the number of instances of each model. This is called on a model with an optional set of conditions to match against the first argument, and a callback is entered as the second argument. It says, and you can also return a query and then execute it with a callback later. The callback is invoked when the database runs the count with an error value as the first parameter and a count as the second parameter. Again, or null if there was some kind of an error. So we talked about this kind of thing before. So we want to open up our book controller. Near the top of the file, you should see the exported function shown right there. All right, so let's take a look. I think we can close this for now, and I think we can close this for now. So file open, probably left it open. Well, we're good. So under controllers, I think they said it was book instance controller. Maybe not. We just want the book controller, not the book instance. Near the top, you should see the exported index function. Right there. Notice how it says not implemented, site homepage. Replace all the code above with the following code fragment. All right, so let's look. I guess we can look at all of it in here. So what are we doing? Well, we're first giving ourselves access to the book model, the author model, the genre model, and the book instance model. All right, then we're requiring async, and we're writing a bunch of stuff here to be done in parallel. And notice what we're doing. We're getting counts of how many books, book instances, authors, genres, etc. So again, as it says there, the async parallel method is passed an object with the functions for getting the counts for each of the models. All right. These functions are all started at the same time. When all of them have completed, the final callback is invoked in the results parameter or an error. On success, it calls res.render to specify a view named index and an object containing what we want to see. So before we do this, it says replace. I'm going to come in here and replace this code. It says replace all the code above. I think that's what we're supposed to replace. We'll know when we start going through it if stuff doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is comment this line out in case we do have to bring it back if I'm putting this in the wrong place or whatever. Now I think I've got one too many of these, if I had to guess. It looks good. And that doesn't look good. Okay. Something looks funky here, but I'm not sure what it is. So this looks funky right there. Well, we'll see as we go through this. So let me save. The callback function from async.parallel above is a bit unusual in that we render a page whether or not there is an error. Normally you'd expect a separate execution path for an error. Then open the index.pug and replace its content with the text below. So we want to go into views, find index.pug, and replace it. Okay. The view is straightforward. We extend the layout.pug base template, overriding the block name content. So this is going to become our new content. The first H1 heading will be the escape text for the title that was passed in. We then include a paragraph introducing the local library. Under the dynamic content, we check whether the error variable passed in from render function has been defined. If so, we note the error. If not, we get the list number and copies of each model. All right, so what does it look like? At this point, we should have created everything we need to display the index page. Run the app and open the browser into localhost 3000. If everything is set up correctly, it should look like this, although this stuff will not be workable yet. I believe I still have it. Oh, it says it crashed. So let's control break here. Let's clear. Let's try it again. Hopefully it's not going to, it is crashing right away. Waiting for file changes before starting. Oh, that isn't good. And again, this could be a lot of things. This unexpected end of input. So it's telling me on line 73 in my controller here. Right there. So these two are together. That's good. Those are together. That's good. Those are together. That's good. Those are together. Those are together. Those are together. Those. So are those. So the problem again is in here someplace. So let's see. That's good. may be that we did need another one of these in here. So let's see. That's what was in there originally. So let's see if that fixes the problem. Still crashing. Now we're getting an unexpected token on line 32. It doesn't like this. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go back and take a look in what we just copied, which was, come on, from right here. So let me grab, replace all the code above with the following code fragment. Maybe the problem is that should be the entire file. So let's do this. I'm going to take, because I've been burned by stuff like this too many times, I'm going to comment out this entire thing just in case I were to need it later. And now paste this in. Save. All right, so that's my new file. Now come back into here, break, clear. Let's try running it again and see if it's still crashing. Doggone it. Route.get recalls a call, requires a callback. Now, a lot of times when this kind of thing happens and you start to get errors like I'm getting right now, all right, you get them based off of not your file, but other files that your files are recalling. So I'm going to copy this, done this before, and I'm going to look for errors in route.get requires a callback function, but it got an undefined object. Great. Well, as always, rather than waste my time and your time, what I will do is try to see if I can debug this, and then I will come back, but I'm going to pause for a couple minutes. I'm looking, like I said, for something. Let's see. And I'm wondering if that's the only one that's there. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to look through here and see if I can figure out what the error is. And I'll be back, hopefully, in just a couple minutes. All right, I wasn't able to fix the error yet, but taking a look at it, it is telling me that the error is in my, I believe it's in my catalog.js file. It's in here. Where is it? It's in my app.js file. I'm looking for a file that's mine as opposed to a system file. And it's saying right there. And it's saying line 10 in position 21, which is right here. And I looked, and under routes, I did have a catalog router. So there it is. It's under routes, and it's catalog.js, which says either I have an error in this file, which I didn't think I did, I just copied it, or something else is host. But what is happening is every time you attempt to run this, it starts the run, and then it blows up. And again, it's blowing up right on that line. So it says the app crashed waiting for file changes before restarting, but I thought possibly I hadn't saved something, but I'm looking in here, and there's the book controller, and that's been saved. There's the index.pug, and that's been saved. This was just my error listing, so I wouldn't want to save that. There's my app.js, and that's been saved. There's my catalog.js, and that's been saved. Now there's just a couple things I can do. All right, one thing is I can attempt to go back and find out where catalog.js was set. I have no idea. I don't really remember where that was. But I know it had to have been in here someplace. So I'm going to come in here and just take a quick look. Doesn't look like it's in there. Or in there. All right. Or in there. Okay, there's one there. There. And there. I'm trying to think of something that would make this blow up. Well, this was in part 4. We did create the catalog route module. All right, so it said we already had that. Create another file catalog, which we had. Open that and copy in the code below. That was just a straight copy. Can't think of anything that I could have missed in there unless I somehow didn't highlight all of it, but I think I did. It ends with the export statement. And there it is. All right, I just copied it over again. I can't see where that's going to change anything. Let's just check the rest of this out here and make sure I didn't miss anything. Open routes index.js and replace the existing route with what's shown here. Again, I thought I did that. Replace the existing route with this one. Well, we want the route to be replaced. It didn't say to replace the entire thing, so. Right. The last step is to add the routes to the middleware chain. We do this in app.js. This also should be in here. In fact, I remember doing this and putting this on a separate line, but we'll check quickly in app.js to make sure that those lines have been added also. So here we'll be setting up our routers. There it is, and again, I'll just take it, move it back to there. That's fine. So catalog router, routes.catalog, that looks good. In our app.use, we have to add this. Again, that should be in there already on 2 lines. There it was. All right. We have now added this as it says. Well, to test the routes, we did test them before and they did come up okay. So, like I said, I'm a little stumped as to what the problem is, but I'm going to save this. It has been saved. My guess is when I try to run this again, it's still going to blow up. Now, the one thing is, it is blowing up, but it is restarting. All right, it says Node app crashed, waiting for changes before restarting. So, I have no idea if it restarts, if this is, see right now we're getting an error. It's not doing diddly. But it does look like it's running. That's what I don't understand. All right. Again, we did all this from earlier. We were not told to do anything else. I went up to the next portion. All right, we talked in here. There was no new code. We talked the template. There was no new code. We did the local library. In our layout.pug, we should have had this. And I think that was correct. So under views, not index, layout.pug. All right, got that. That should be okay. And we were supposed to add this to our style sheets, and I did that as well. So that's done. The next part again was the home page. Yeah. As a reminder, yeah. Open the controllers near the top. You should see the exported index function. Replace all the code above with the following code fragment. I've done that twice already. Open the views index.pug and put in this. I've done this before too. It should be everything. And it should all have been saved. And yet it's still blowing up. And my guess is that if I do check where it's still blowing up, it's still blowing up in the same place. Oh, well, maybe there is something different here. Let's see. Nope. There it is. Still blowing up right there. And now it says 921 where previously it said 1021. I'm not sure why that would be. right there. It doesn't like something with that require. Well, I'll have to keep working on it, see if I can figure out what the problem is. And until then, I'm just going to stop.